Have you ever dealt with someone who thrives on disrespect? Someone who pushes your buttons, tests your patience, and expects you to lose control. It's tempting to snap back, to argue, to meet their rudeness with frustration. But tell me this, who really wins in that exchange? True power isn't in reacting, it's in remaining unshaken. The ability to stay calm and deliver a response so sharp, so precise, that it makes the other person regret ever provoking you. No yelling, no emotional outbursts, just a few calculated words that turn their own disrespect against them. In this video, I'll share powerful Stoic comebacks that instantly shut down rude people, responses that shift the balance of power and leave them speechless. Master these and you'll never feel disrespected again. Now let's begin. 1. I don't argue with people who thrive on disrespect. Some people don't seek understanding, they seek control. They don't engage in discussions to learn or exchange ideas. They do it to belittle, provoke, and assert dominance. They love to interrupt, twist your words, and turn every disagreement into a personal attack. You could say, I prefer tea over coffee, and they'd take it as a personal insult. And when they get called out, they hide behind phrases like, I'm just brutally honest, when in reality, they're just brutal. So why waste your breath? Why argue with someone who never intended to respect you in the first place? This isn't just a comeback. It's a declaration of self-respect. It tells them, I see exactly what you're doing, and I refuse to participate. And trust me, nothing frustrates a disrespectful person more than realizing they can't get a reaction out of you. People who thrive on disrespect feed on emotional reactions. They want you to argue, to defend yourself, to lose your cool, because the moment you do, they win. But when you stay calm and dismiss them with a single line, you take their power away. When should you use this response? When someone keeps trying to start a fight with you, instead of feeding their negativity, starve it. When a co-worker or boss talks down to you, this response makes it clear you won't tolerate disrespect. When a friend or family member belittles you, some people think they can get away with it just because they're close to you. They can't. When a stranger tries to provoke you, not every battle is worth fighting. Some people aren't even worth acknowledging. Here's the harsh truth. Some people don't argue to solve anything. They argue to win. They argue because they enjoy making others upset. It gives them a twisted sense of power. So the best response? No response at all. Instead, drop this line. I don't argue with people who thrive on disrespect. Then walk away. Because the moment they realize they have no control over you, they've already lost. 2. You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it. Some words carry weight, but others are as light as dust in the wind. When dealing with rude, arrogant, or judgmental people, few responses are as powerful as this one. It's not an insult. It's not emotional. It's simply a declaration that their words hold no power over you. And nothing frustrates an egotistical person more than realizing they have no control over your mind. Why do rude people talk down to others? It's not because they want to help, and it's not even because they believe they're right. It's because they crave dominance. They want to feel superior, as if their opinion is the ultimate truth, and you are merely an uninformed fool who needs to listen. The moment you argue, explain yourself, or get defensive, you hand them power. But when you simply acknowledge their words and move on, you leave them powerless. This response works because it denies rude people the one thing they seek: control over your emotions. They want to see you react. They want to feel important. But when you remain unbothered, You force them to confront a painful truth. Their words mean nothing to you, and that realization stings more than any insult ever could. When should you use this? When someone mocks your goals. Maybe you're pursuing an unconventional path, and people love to say, "That'll never work." Just smile and say, "You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it." Then keep going. When a toxic family member judges your choices, sometimes it's parents, siblings, or relatives who think they have a say in your life. Instead of arguing, remind them calmly, "You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it." When a coworker belittles your ideas. In the workplace, some people love to act superior. If someone tries to make you feel small, just say, "You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it." Then move on, as if their words carried no weight. Most people who criticize you aren't doing better than you, they're just louder. And the louder they are, the more insecure they usually feel. They want to control the conversation, because deep down, they fear they might be wrong. That's why this response is so powerful. It reminds them, without hostility, that their words do not define you. Their opinions are not facts. They are simply noise, background chatter in the grand symphony of your life. So the next time someone rudely offers their opinion about your life, don't argue, don't defend yourself. Just smile, say, "You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to ignore it," and move on. Because at the end of the day, your life is yours, and their opinions completely irrelevant. 3. If I had $1 for every smart thing you said, I'd be broke. Some words cut deeper than a blade, not because they are loud, but because they expose a truth no one dares to say out loud. This comeback is one of them. On the surface, it sounds playful, almost like a joke. But beneath that light-hearted tone, it delivers a devastating reality check. You never say anything intelligent. And the beauty of it? You don't even have to say it directly. Rude people love to talk. They interrupt. They mock. They throw around sarcastic remarks. Not because they have anything valuable to say, but because they crave attention. They don't seek truth. They seek dominance. This line works so well because it reveals their emptiness. It forces them to face the fact that, for all their noise, they contribute nothing of substance. And the best part? It leaves them speechless. If they get angry, they look defensive. If they try to argue, they prove your point. Either way, they lose. Loud people aren't always smart people. And when you call them out on it the right way, they crumble. This line is so effective because it flips the script. Rude people thrive on making others feel small. This throws their own game back at them. It forces them into a corner where every reaction makes them look worse. If they argue, they prove they're insecure. If they stay silent, they admit defeat. Either way, you win. When should you use this response? When someone constantly interrupts you with sarcastic insults. Some people aren't interested in discussion. They just want to tear you down. This shuts them up instantly. When a coworker acts superior but contributes nothing meaningful, the guy who criticizes everything but offers no real solutions, time to expose him. When a so-called friend mocks you but never says anything intelligent themselves. Some people exist only to take jabs at others. This puts them in their place. At the end of the day, most people who love to mock others do so because they have nothing valuable to offer themselves. They hide behind sarcasm, mistaking it for wit, thinking it makes them look sharp, when in reality, it just covers up their insecurity. And the best way to deal with them? Expose them. So the next time someone who never says anything meaningful tries to act like they're the smartest person in the room, just hit them with, "If I had $1 for every smart thing you said, I'd be broke." Then sit back and watch them struggle to find a response. 4. Your attitude isn't going to get you very far in life. This isn't just a comeback, it's a reality check. Some people go through life mistaking arrogance for confidence, believing that being rude, dismissive and condescending makes them powerful. But life doesn't reward that kind of behavior. No one respects a person who constantly belittles others. No boss promotes someone who can't work with a team. No successful person got to where they are by tearing people down instead of lifting themselves up. So, when you say, your attitude isn't going to get you very far in life, you're not just shutting them down. You're exposing their future failure. You're forcing them to realize that their behavior isn't strength. It's self-sabotage. No matter how skilled you are, if people can't stand working with you, you're going nowhere. This line works because it forces them to confront an uncomfortable truth. Their behavior isn't just unpleasant, it's costing them opportunities. It's not an insult, it's a fact. And facts hurt more than any insult ever could. When should you use this response? When a coworker is rude and condescending, let them know their behavior will cost them in the long run. When a stranger is being disrespectful, some people act like jerks in public because they think they can get away with it. This makes them think twice. When a family member constantly puts others down, being family isn't an excuse for toxic behavior. When a friend has a toxic attitude, if they're always negative and dismissive, maybe it's time they hear the truth. At the end of the day, some people walk around thinking their arrogance makes them untouchable. But life has a way of humbling those who believe they're better than everyone else. So next time someone disrespects you, hit them with, "Your attitude isn't going to get you very far in life." Then watch as they realize, maybe, just maybe, they're the real problem. 5. This conversation was over before it even started. This isn't just a comeback, it's a verbal checkmate. It doesn't just end an argument, it erases it from existence. It tells the rude person, "You thought you were about to start a battle, but I'm not even stepping onto the battlefield." Disrespectful people thrive on conflict. They don't argue to seek truth or understanding. They argue to dominate, to provoke, to make you lose control. They want you to get defensive. They want you to engage. Because the moment you do, they've won. They've pulled you into their game, where they feel powerful. But what happens when you refuse to play? What happens when you make it clear that their words hold zero weight in your life? They lose. Instantly. By saying, "This conversation was over before it even started," you strip them of their power. You make them feel unimportant. You send one clear message. You don't control my emotions. You don't deserve my energy. And trust me, nothing frustrates a rude person more than realizing they can't get under your skin. Your attention, your energy, your frustration. It instantly shifts the power dynamic. Instead of engaging, you show them how insignificant their words truly are. When should you use this response? When someone tries to bait you into an argument, you don't owe them your energy. When a coworker, boss, or acquaintance is being passive-aggressive, shut it down before it escalates. When a friend or family member is being unnecessarily rude, just because they're close to you doesn't mean you have to entertain their negativity. When a stranger insults you for no reason, some people just want attention. don't give it to them. Not every fight is worth fighting. Not every insult deserves a response. Rude people win when they steal your energy, but they lose when you show them just how little they matter. So the next time someone tries to pull you into a pointless argument, just say, "This conversation was over before it even started." Then walk away, while they sit there, stunned, realizing they just lost a battle that never even began. 6. Thanks for your input. I'll be sure to forget it immediately. Some words deserve reflection. Others deserve to vanish the moment they are spoken. When a rude person disrespects you, they are not offering wisdom, nor are they engaging in meaningful discourse. They speak not to enlighten, but to disrupt, not to uplift, but to undermine. They crave control, hoping their words will plant doubt in your mind, forcing you to react, to justify, to explain. But when you respond with nothing more than a calm dismissal, "Thanks for your input. I'll be sure to forget it immediately," you deny them the very thing they seek, relevance. A Stoic does not carry unnecessary burdens. To allow the words of an insignificant critic to linger in your mind is to grant them power they do not deserve. Most insults, when examined with a clear mind, are hollow, spoken not from wisdom, but from weakness, not from clarity, but from inner turmoil. The person who mocks, who belittles, who seeks to pull others down, is often drowning in his own discontent. His words are not weapons, they are cries for significance. And what greater punishment than to be met with indifference? There is a certain kind of person who believes that rudeness grants them power, that speaking the loudest makes their words weightier. But the world does not reward arrogance disguised as confidence. No true leader, no respected figure, no person of real substance builds their strength by diminishing others. Those who mock, who condescend, who belittle may feel powerful in the moment, but their path leads nowhere. Their words, like their influence, fade into nothing. The key is to remain steadfast. When a family member scoffs at your ambitions, when a colleague dismisses your ideas, when a stranger hurls an insult meant to unsettle you, the answer remains the same. Let their words pass through you, like the wind through an open field. Acknowledge them only to cast them aside. There is no need for anger, no need for debate, no need to carry what does not serve you. So the next time someone speaks with the sole intention of bringing you down, simply offer them this truth: "Thanks for your input. I'll be sure to forget it immediately." And then, as a Stoic would, continue forward, unshaken, undisturbed, and utterly free. 7. You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself. Some people are their own worst enemies. They live for conflict, thrive on meaningless arguments, and mistake loudness for strength. It's almost as if they wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and ask themselves, "How can I embarrass myself today?" And the worst part? They don't even realize they're doing it. When someone is being rude, they expect you to react, get flustered, get defensive, get angry. That's what they feed on. But when you stay calm, meet their hostility with observation rather than emotion, and hit them with a line like, "You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself," everything shifts. Suddenly, the attention isn't on you anymore. It's on them. You're no longer the one trying to defend yourself. They're the ones scrambling, forced to confront the reality of their own ridiculousness. And whether their pride lets them admit it or not, a seed has been planted. Someone making a spectacle of himself, too caught up in his own need to feel superior to even notice. This response is powerful because it forces a rude person to look in the mirror. They think they're being clever, dominant, in control. But the moment you call out their behavior in a way that highlights their foolishness rather than engaging in their nonsense, you take away everything they were trying to gain. They can either double down, making themselves look even more ridiculous, or they can back off, knowing they've been exposed. Either way, you've already won. This works everywhere. In the workplace, when a coworker constantly interrupts or makes sarcastic remarks, simply pause, meet their gaze, and say with a slight smirk, "You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself." Then continue speaking as if their words never mattered. With a toxic friend or family member who enjoys passive-aggressive jabs, don't argue, don't get flustered. Just chuckle and say, "You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself." Then move on and watch them sit with the weight of their own words. Even online or in public, when someone tries to drag you into their negativity, keep it simple. "You seem really dedicated to making a fool of yourself. Keep up the hard work." Then walk away or log off, leaving them to deal with their own embarrassment. A fool rarely knows they are a fool. They believe they are winning, that they are in control, that they are the sharpest person in the room. But when you make them see the truth, not with anger, not with insults, but with a simple statement, they are forced to question themselves. And that doubt, that's where their downfall begins. At the end of the day, power doesn't belong to the loudest person in the room. It belongs to the one who remains unshaken. The moment you stop giving rude people the reaction they crave, they lose. Not by force, not by anger, but by their own doing. True strength isn't about fighting every battle. It's about knowing which ones aren't worth your energy. If you found these comebacks valuable, don't just keep them in mind, use them. Make sure to like this video if it resonated with you, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, and turn on notifications so you never miss insights that help you navigate life with clarity and confidence.